We're good.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the November 3rd, 2025 meeting.
We have a motion from Mr. Atkins. Do we have a second?
Second that.
We have a motion from the second from Mr. Pearson. Mr. Glancy, would you give us a roll call for the vote?
Randy Atkins.
Yes.
Lois Jones.
Yeah.
John Pearson.
Yes.
Daniel Young.
Yes.
Ed Hartman.
Yes.
I think I need your vote to form.
No, I think you had enough if you had everybody else.
3, 4. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. We have no old business to discuss. On new business, we have approval of the regular meeting schedule for next year. Last page. Next meeting will be January 5th, 2026. And the July meeting is optional.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting schedule for 2026 as stands.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Atkins,
I'll second that.
and we have a second from Mr. Young. We have a roll call vote. on that.
Randy Atkins.
Yes.
Lois Jones.
Yeah.
John Pearson.
Yes.
Daniel Young.
Yes.
Okay. The other new business, something that caught my eye, was effective 1/1/2026. IC code 3672.5-6, construction documents or plans. As used in this chapter, construction documents or plans means written, graphic, and pictorial documents prepared or assembled for describing the design, location, and physical characteristics of the elements of a project necessary for obtaining a building permit. The term includes construction drawings, drawn to an appropriate scale. This is a new law that takes effect January 1st. So I wanted to make you aware of it. Okay. Any other new business?
Fees,
The what?
the fees,
The fees?
yeah, starting at the first of the year when
Yes.
about, well, fees for example.
We have drawings to scale.
But
Yeah, fees and fines
Yes.
schedule?
Drawings to scale.
Yes.
Building.
Pass the APC.
Set.
It's past the EPC, it's supposed to have a public hearing because the commissioner has to do.
Has it passed the APC?
Leach fields and septic systems.
But it has not had a public hearing yet with the commissioner?
Correct.
Okay.
I just assumed. Okay.
Mr. Glancy.
Hmm.
The fees and fines schedule that was revised by the APC, has it been presented to the commissioners?
Yes, it's been presented to the commissioners and then published in the paper. Published twice in the paper after the commissioners have approved it. And then we need a wait, I believe it was 90 days. So in January, we'll be increasing those fees. That's the
It passed
process.
public hearing.
After the public hearing that we had
Okay.
at the APC.
Okay, it had an APC public hearing. Is
Yes,
that correct?
Yes.
yes,
Okay, it probably only needs one.
right.
Okay. All right, so that'll be in effect January 1?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Any other new business? Okay, let's move to public hearings. 6.1, Austin Foss Night, variance accessory building docket 023-25, 5074 East 100 South, Marion, Indiana. Yes, sir. Would you sign in on the sheet up there?
Is there, oh, I don't have a sheet up there.
Okay.
Is there a pin up there? Yes, sir. Sign the back of it.
Yeah, just,
Okay.
I always forget something. And that's that. Sign up sheet.
Okay, sir, would you tell us what you'd like to do and why?
Yeah, I'm looking to put up a cold storage barn, for storage. That's really what I'm trying to do. There's no garage or storage place on the property.
Mhm.
The way the elevation of the ground and stuff, that's about the flattest part that I can put it. The way that my property is.
Okay. I noticed that you want to have it in front of the house.
Yeah,
It appears to be from this drawing space behind the house. When I drove by, I noticed that you had, looked like the area was further back on the lot. Is there any reason why it couldn't go a little further back? That you need a variance?
yeah, there's a septic back there. It just, there would be no way to get into the barn. And like I said, the elevation of the ground and the way the house sets, the property is on a hill. It just, it'd be flooded with water from all over the hill.
Okay. Does the door to the barn come in from the long side or the short side towards the road?
The long side,
Okay, and how many doors are going into the barn?
one,
One,
yes, 8 by 16.
right? So your concern is if you put it further back, it would flood.
Yeah, it'll flood because that's the lowest.
It's lowest back there.
Yeah, it's lower back there and I'm catching all the water anyway from everybody that lives up above natural water, so it's coming down. And like I said, other than putting it, if I was to put it anywhere else, the garage floor would be probably 4 or 5 feet out of the ground versus my house setting down. So I'm trying to keep the house from flooding, I'm trying to keep the barn from flooding.
Are there other questions from board members?
Now, will you use a common driveway to the house and the barn?
Yes, the driveway that's in the picture will go to both of them. So the driveway's already there. It was there prior to me buying the house. So it's gonna be the same drive-in. Just you either go straight and park in the driveway or hang right into the garage door, the 8 by 16. There's just, if he was to set it back farther, there just wouldn't be room to utilize the barn to get in.
Sure.
Question.
Yes.
Is what we use the commercial uses.
No, this is dry storage.
Are there any other questions? Okay, sir, you may be seated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to talk in favor of this petition? Come forward now. Anyone opposed to this petition?
Check with Mr. Clancy and see if they had a letter sent in.
Were there any letters sent in support?
There's one letter that I put in the package of support from the neighbor.
Yes, okay. Is there anything else? Okay, I'll close the public hearing. It's time for board discussion, deliberation, possible motion. When you're ready.
I make a motion that we approve Mr. Paul's night.
We have a motion to approve the petition for Mr. Fosnight from Mrs. Jones. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a second by Mr. Atkins. Mr. Clancy, would you give us a roll call?
Randy Atkins?
Yes.
Lois Jones?
Yeah.
John Pearson?
Yes.
Daniel Young?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion's passed. Thank you. You have your variance, sir. Thank you for doing things the correct way.
Thank you very much.
No.
Next is Mr. Roger Randolph. This is docket 19-25, continued from last month, 210 West 9th Street, Jonesboro, Indiana. Good evening. Good evening. So you have the same request as last time?
Basically, but there's a few more, or there was one more added, I believe. Accessory building with no primary residence. The accessory building is too big for the lot. And I'm drawing a blank. What was the third one, Todd?
The accessory structure may not exceed the ground floor area of a dwelling,
There you go. There is no dwelling.
but there is no dwelling, so that's a moot point.
So I didn't even bring that one up.
Yeah, so that can't be satisfied,
That's null and void.
but it can't be satisfied without a variance.
Correct.
So there's 3 issues.
Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else you'd like to tell? Okay. All right, you may be seated then.
All right, thank you.
Is there anyone here who would like to talk in support of this petition?
I don't think I can.
Is there anyone here who
No,
would
I
like
do.
to
I don't
speak in
think so.
opposition to this petition? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. It's time for deliberation and possible motion from the board. remember the particulars here. Are there any questions? Okay, we're ready for a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the variance. Mr. Russell's off unconditionally.
Second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Atkins. And we have a second, Mr. Pearson. Okay. Would you give us a roll call vote, Mr. Lansing?
Randy Atkins?
Yes.
Lois Jones?
Yes.
John Pearson?
Yes.
Daniel Young?
Yes.
Motion passed. Thank you. You have your variances. Thank you for doing things the correct way. And next on the agenda, 6.3, is Jack Heimlich, Barrow Pit Special Exception, docket 018-25, 7380 South 825 East Upland, Indiana. Mr. Certain, how are you?
Fine, thank you, considering it's snow and all my age.
Yes. If you would sign in, please.
I'm here on behalf of Jack Heimlich. There was a month ago at last meeting, I guess. At which time there was considerable concern by several neighbors affecting use of County Road 825 East. That was relayed to Mr. Heimlich, and they have since ceased using that roadway. And would be certainly amenable to, if it's all right, presenting it to the county commission, see if they can eliminate any trucks on that highway, on that roadway. Now, the property is now accessed from County Road 700. So 825 is no longer an issue. The property is being used primarily to provide topsoil from the land, and also for deposit of concrete and asphalt from joining highway work in the city of Upland, city of Upland, I guess. And I guess it's town of Upland and the adjacent highways in the area. The property had been used to deposit concrete and asphalt, and it was all clean fill. That's a temporary depository, as much of that asphalt will be reused. Concrete will be broken up and used to provide fill for construction purposes, other highway construction purposes. We're here tonight to ask for an approval, because we haven't completed all of this requirements of the county ordinance. Jason Miller, engineer, has been hired to look into this matter, who is here tonight. He has done so. He is a licensed engineer, and he is going to provide whatever is needed and approved by the county with respect to any concerns over floodway, waterways, or otherwise. But what here tonight was to bring you up to date as to where we are. We haven't forgotten about it. We are working on it, and hopefully within the next 2 months, we'll have all the information and all the requirements met to satisfy the county ordinance.
Okay. believe Mr. Clancy brought something to our attention in that there needs to be an engineering study done on that large amount of dirt that is real next to a small creek that drains the area and the resident across the road as well. I'm not sure how much area that drains, but it does drain an area. And if that mound or pile or whatever we call it, were to erode down into that creek and block it, that could cause flooding, as the water wouldn't be able to go down that little creek. There needs to be a study on that
That's
completed
part of it.
so that we could grant a special exception. We couldn't even grant one without that.
So we understand that. That's why we have retained the services of Jason Miller, who is a qualified engineer, a licensed engineer, to do that study and to provide that information and presumably, hopefully, be able to meet the requirements of the county ordinance.
Well, we'll ask him, I guess. Have you done this hydraulic study before?
Oh, absolutely. That's part of my expertise as a professional engineer. I'll sign it since I spoke.
Okay, are you done, Mr. Sir?
I am, unless there's other questions.
Okay, well, you may be seated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jason Miller, Random Norton Associates, 145 East 3rd Street here in Marion. Licensed professional engineer, licensed land surveyor, certified floodplain manager, certified professional in erosion sediment control. Those will be my certifications and qualifications through the state of Indiana and the state of Kentucky. Happy to answer questions that relate to stormwater, surface flow, traffic, environmental conditions, whatever questions I can answer as of now, I'd be happy to answer.
When do you think you could complete a survey there?
So there's two parts to your question. The first is a survey, which is weather dependent. Obviously, with snow cover, that makes it more difficult. We did begin a survey that then leads to the engineering study. And obviously, with the weather like it currently is and getting more as this meeting is ongoing, as soon as that breaks, we'll finish the survey component and then continue with the engineering design. Part of my expertise deals with stormwater runoff and erosion control. So what I'll be looking at is compliance with the ordinance in its entirety as it relates to the special exception, making sure that the ordinance is complied with, the plans for the adjacent water bodies are complied with, IDEM requirements and DNR requirements are complied with. Part of that is a construction stormwater general permit, formerly known as Rule 5. Rule 5 is no longer in effect. It is now a construction stormwater general permit that is issued by IDEM. Any area that is disturbing more than 1 acre of land is required to obtain one. That's common practice. I file dozens of those annually.
Okay. All right. So do you think in a month or two?
Generally 2 months, yeah. I mean, again, if we continue to get snow and the weather freezes and the ground covers unable for me to access it, I could attempt to do it by aerial photography and GIS data. However, the accuracy of that information is going to be reduced. I don't think it would be consistent with what this board would desire. However, if that's something that you would like for me to do with the best available data that we have, I can certainly do that. I would argue that a field survey would be more precise and give me the ability to better certify. However, I've certainly done it on the use of GIS data in 2025. There's numerous data sets that are available that are fairly precise that would allow me to evaluate the surface discharge, and visual site inspections would assist in that. But if work has been ongoing since that GIS data was created, then the GIS data is no longer valid.
Yeah, we think.
Bringing stone, oh,
More
absolutely,
accurate way.
correct. And again, that's just gonna simply require time.
It's okay.
We want to give you the data that you are looking for in the most expeditious manner for you to make a decision that is in the best interest of this board. I don't want to take this out to March or April if we can do it faster, but that's something that I don't think anybody here this evening can predict with the weather. Once it clears, we will certainly make every effort to have that done. The study itself is only going to take a few weeks, probably 4 or 5 weeks.
Okay,
Is Jack still receiving fill through the other end?
I'm not involved in the activities on the property. I can't answer that question. I don't know if Mr. Certain can.
My understanding is they're no longer receiving fill, but they are taking it out to be used elsewhere.
Oh, they're removing some.
Yes.
Mr. Glassy?
I mean, we have reports and, I've been emailed pictures pretty consistently that there's almost daily activity. I assume if you allow, others in the audience to,
Full trucks going in.
yeah,
Okay.
that they'll testify to the same thing, but that's not the address, the plans moving forward and what we want to do with the property and moving forward, but
Okay.
that's the current status in the reporting that I've received.
Have you and Mr. Heimlich discussed how long it would take to clear the debris from the property?
As in, if you were to deny the special exception, how long it would take for us to remove all debris from the property and restore it to its current prior condition?
Yes.
I have not spoken with him in that regard, but I would probably suspect that it would take 2 to 3 months. I mean, there's a decent amount there that, would require some time.
Yes.
But I mean, if that's how you vote, we have no other alternative beyond compliance with what your request is. And we intend to provide information that would allow you to, if you so chose to vote in favor of the request, we intend to comply with the requirements that are in the ordinance that allow you to vote in favor of the request. We would move all of the debris to be 300 feet or greater within the right of way and 500 feet from a residential property, all the things that are listed on the supplemental information provided. That is going to be a lot shorter time frame for compliance to move it on the site.
Right.
If it's expected that a denial is made and then it's to be removed, I would indicate it's every bit of 2 to 3 months.
I would think it'd be that at least.
Yes, and then you can't restore it in inclement weather, so you'd have to have a restoral plan or a reclamation plan for restoring the conditions to allow grass to grow. That's not gonna happen until probably April or May.
Yeah.
At the earliest. So if you do choose to deny, you're probably close to 8, 9 months to restore this back to the prior condition. My objective is to give you information that you can approve the special exception.
So Jason, are we to assume that nothing's gonna happen until this board makes a decision in regard to the variance? In regard to the pile as it exists today?
So my understanding in talking with Mr. Certain is that they are removing some of that material now in an attempt to comply offsite. We immediately, the following day, I believe it was, we provided supplemental information that the driveway off of 825 was immediately blocked. That was our primary concern for hearing what you had requested last meeting. We took immediate action when Mr. Certain and I became involved, and that was our attempt to show good faith effort to comply with more than just your request of the last meeting, but also the entire ordinance. We can certainly have a game plan of when that material can be moved. I assume you're referring to primarily the concrete and debris on the roadway and potentially along the stream. So Ideally, yes, we could move that to a 300/500 compliance. But what we don't want to do is get in a scenario where we do move it over and then you reject, that then we also have to now remove it from the property. So if that's your request, we can certainly take that back to Mr. Heimlich. I would ask for consideration of not requiring him to move it twice. However, if that's what your request is, we can put together a plan and a schedule to accommodate that, and I would think that potentially by this Friday, I haven't talked to Jack and I haven't talked to Mr. Certain, but we can have a schedule quickly that potentially by this Friday can estimate when that can be done, if that's your request. Again, what we don't want to do is get in a scenario where we're moving it twice.
Right. Yeah. We definitely want to get it away from that creek.
Sure.
It doesn't get stopped up.
Sure.
Now, if that means moving some of it twice, I suppose that is what would need to be done to accomplish.
Well, and one of the things that we've looked at, again, now I'm putting on my stormwater compliance hat, is making sure that debris does not enter the water body. So one of the things that we've talked about is putting up barriers to prevent that from happening. And we can certainly relocate a portion of the material that is closest to the stream and relocate that further away. We can talk about that and provide information to Mr. Glancy on timing for that to happen. Especially as we come into the wet season.
Right. Okay, do we have any other questions? All right, then, well, should we expect another update next month? First of January, basically.
Yes, we do. It will be, assuming weather permits information, Jason getting the information together that he needs, providing that to Mr. Glancy. Mr. Glancy and I have had communications fairly regularly over the course of the last month or so. And I think we're same way.
Now, I believe we passed a weekly update at the last meeting. Is that correct?
I don't recall it, whether it was a weekly or bi-weekly.
Well, it was mentioned in conversation. We didn't vote on anything, so.
What's your pleasure?
Did we have a vote?
We didn't have a
It was
vote.
a motion to. I think the minutes reflect that.
No.
Okay.
Well, regardless, I guess I would ask, what's your pleasure?
We want it-
We'll do what is necessary to keep information flowing both ways. What is it you would like?
I personally feel a monthly update at the meetings is sufficient. I mean, this is not gonna get solved in a couple of weeks. And, you know, what's the point of laboring everyone with it, you know?
Why don't we offer that if something substantial occurs, that I'll update Mr. Glancy, like our last meeting, we immediately took action the following day. The photographic evidence and summary was provided to his office. If something happens before the next meeting, again, we've also got Christmas and New Year's, but we'll immediately provide that information. And if the board has any questions that they want to run through, you know, Mr. Glancy's office or myself or Mr. Certain, you know, whatever is necessary, we want to make this easy for you to make a decision either in favor or against.
We don't want to make that easy, make a decision, kids.
I think we want an update every month, even if it's just to say we're snowed in. and
We'll be here next month.
Thing done.
We'll be here next month, and if anything substantive changes between now and then, we'll update.
Yeah. I think we just every month plan on,
Sure.
before this meeting, getting with Mr. Clancy, letting them know where you are.
We'll give you an update a week prior or sooner.
And the priorities, of course, are to get away from the creek and get the legal setback.
The material along the roadway?
Yes.
Okay,
Get that cleaned up
okay.
next.
I guess if anything's coming out of there, Jason, it would make sense to work on that end
Right.
versus the other end.
With the exception of, we don't want trucks on 825, so we can't take material from the east side of that pile or take it from the west. Means the pile will shrink, but it won't get further away from the
You
roadway.
can get a truck to the east side.
I'll defer to the people that are gonna do that.
Park alongside there.
Okay.
You can get clear through.
Okay, perfect. In an ideal scenario, we will just move it further to the west and make your decision easy.
You want an action on,
Yeah, I think we need a motion.
are we gonna list those opposed? You want that action after we're done?
I think we should listen. I think we should listen to those opposed first and then make our final decision on what we're doing. Okay, is there anyone else here that wants to speak in favor of this? Okay, those opposed, if you would, come to the podium, sign in.
Jared Armstrong, 7120 South, 825 East. I did bring just a couple papers to pass
Give
through.
those to Mr. Flanagan.
My handout last time I sent over email, I don't think it made it in advance, so this is just a list of the things that I highlighted that were main concerns, the last go around, and things that are in the ordinance mentioned in the inspection from when items on site, application materials, other concerns that I have that are in the ordinance or I think should be considered as part of this review for special exemption. I'll get to that in just a second. Really just wanted to take a minute to highlight some still open concerns I have today as how things stand. Yes, I did see that the entrance on 825 was blocked and traffic has gone around to use the pit entrance. From my viewpoint, the stop work order is still being ignored. I have witnessed dump trucks coming with asphalt, dumping on the piles. I can easily see them. I saw them getting some topsoil out of the, I guess it's well, I don't know if it's topsoil, fill dirt, I'll call it fill dirt, soil that's closest to my property line and leaving. That's been a pretty regular occurrence on work days since probably mid-November. From my perception, it appears to be a new construction job that is using the site. I say this because when I was coming back from, like I said, I see these trucks quite often. I see them coming when I go to school. When my wife and I, Friday, were coming back from town, you can see them dumping on the piles from the bridge on the river there. It's pretty easy to see. But I passed the same trucks up by Montpelier when I was coming back from hunting, loaded with soil. I know they were the same ones. So that's my perception with stop work order. I did hope, this is the third meeting we've had on this. The county's been aware of this since, well aware since last July. Stop work order has been in effect since I think late this July, if not August of 25. I kind of hope to hear a little bit more of a laid out plan and how this was, compliance was going to be achieved with all these items. I did hear mention of the H&H analysis. I agree from my standpoint, if this is going to be attempted, the very first thing that needs to be done is a site survey so that you could come up with a site plan, figure out how your setbacks are going to be and all those items. But I don't really, you're going to have an accurate survey. The work's going to have to stop. You're going to have to account for, what is there. If you continue to add for 3 months after you have the survey and you do all the engineering analysis, it's going to be faulty because 3 months worth of debris have continued to pile up. So I think that needs to be considered. Some of the things that I highlighted here that I passed around, there's the site survey, which was mentioned, the site plan, the H&H study, which, as was brought to attention, there's still the floodplain permit county grading permit. When I did not on site, they mentioned that there were wetlands on site and continued fill would be likely to operate these, or excuse me, harm these wetlands. You need a wetland delineation to determine where these are. I haven't heard mention of that. I haven't heard mention of a reclamation plan with regard to the excavation on site. I haven't heard mention of, how the road's gonna be reclaimed. I understand this is not something that's gonna be tackled in a day, but I do think the third meeting, I really would have liked to hear a little bit more of a timeline as how this is gonna be addressed. Something really important that I didn't mention last meeting, but that I would like to bring up that I do think needs to be considered from Mr. Buckner's comments regarding the dust. I think there needs to be some consideration given to the dust and how that's gonna be mitigated on site. I'm not an expert in that area. I think they're termed dust mitigation plans, but, I do think that needs to be addressed. Continual deposition of that debris on his property, home, vehicles, I think that's just awful. Really, I'm gonna end with some questions here, that just open-ended questions I had to how this is gonna proceed. Like I said, I understand that this is not gonna be tackled in a day if this site is gonna attempt to be in compliance. But, what is the long-term plan moving forward here? Is this gonna be reviewed week by week? To see what updates have been done? Is the trigger point, what's the trigger point to determine the site is in compliance? Because, I find it pretty frustrating that there's been a stop work order, since July, and I haven't seen one hint of that, be taken seriously. I too have done a lot of construction stormwater permits with the state that requires weekly inspections. And you have to have designated areas where you're gonna have permanent stabilization, and, if it's gonna be vegetation, hard surface, whatever it may be. I haven't heard if this firm will be doing the inspections or how that will work, but I would be interested to see how that goes. Yeah, that's really where I'm gonna end, I think. This is the county. I understand there's been a lot of turnover. But the county itself has been aware of this since July of 24. And stop work order in effect since this July. Me personally, just on the stop work order, separate from any ongoing, as far as the activities on the site, separate from any of these reclamation or attempts at compliance activities, I would be in favor of some enforcement, because I find that frustrating. That's all I have, but I am open to any questions before I sit down if anybody has.
Do you have any questions? Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in opposition? You would come forward. Hearing none, we'll move on to board deliberations, recommendation, followed with a motion.
Question for Jason. Jason, do you think it's reasonable that, not knowing the outcome of the efforts, the survey and the study that you're going to do, and the fact that there is a stop order in place, do you think it's reasonable to request that dumping stop altogether until we can get closer to a solution to this?
Well, I mean, I think there's two answers to that question. Number one, you have a stop work order that's in place that I wasn't aware of until the last meeting. I also wasn't aware that work had continued, so that's something that we'll talk to our client about. I'm not there on site stopping any activity every day. I can only advise my client and tell you from what I know as of the last meeting. It's the first time I heard about it, not even prior to the meeting did I find out about it until the meeting last month. So that's my first comment. The second comment is it would depend upon what activity is going on. If a stockpile is growing or shrinking, I think it depends on the magnitude. There's obviously relative effects of that activity as it relates to the impact of, let's just say, runoff. from a stormwater perspective. So if there is detrimental activity, you know, it's A, in violation of your stop work order. B, the question is it detrimental to the plan that I would be doing from a survey perspective versus the design? So I don't know how to truly answer that question because I don't know what work has been going on and how that impact will affect the survey. Yes, as soon as I place a rock, then yes, technically the survey is no longer valid. But there's a bigger picture of what is actually going on. We intend to show full compliance with what this board is asking for, as well as what the ordinance requires. So we are going to do what is necessary to give you the information for you to make a decision in favor of the special exception. We intend, Mr. Certain and I intend to meet with the petitioner and indicate that a stop work order has been in place. And should he choose to continue, then there could be consequences with violation of a stop work order. Neither one of us were aware of it until then. I've not seen a copy of it. We will make sure that we get a copy of it. We didn't get it requested before this meeting, since we found out about it last meeting. We did mention to them, hey, a stop work order is in effect. We chose to focus on the immediate concern that we heard was access off of 825. We also are attempting to come up with a plan to relocate. Again, we focused on the material along the roadway. Not that the material along the stream is less important, but we wanted to make sure that we, again, start tackling these things one by one. Long answer to your question, I don't know that it answers it, but hopefully that's a little bit more insight to where we're gonna go.
Well, the stop order is interesting because does the stop order mean that nothing can occur? Can stuff that's been dumped, can it go out? Or does the stop order prevent anything from happening until?
Exactly. I can't comply with relocation of material if a stop work order is in effect. So I think that's why we have attorneys. I'll let the two attorneys discuss and figure out where to go. I mean, we will comply with whatever I haven't either.
Until you all see exactly what is posted.
Why don't we work with your counsel?
I mean, it may be that we want to modify or change that stop order depending on what it is that we think reasonably can continue to occur until.
Well, I think two things that you've asked of us need to occur. Number one, we need to protect the stream. And number two, we need to relocate the material along the roadway to the 300/500 requirements. And I will know more this week after talking with Mr. Heimlich and his operations team on how fast can we do those things, and report back to Mr. Glancy. We can certainly work with the council on what does the stop work order include? What does it allow? What does it not allow? And propose, if you give Mr. Glancy and Mr. Glidfield the latitude to act on your behalf, we can come up with a plan that we think that you would be comfortable with in the meantime until the meeting occurs next time. The alternative is you say, no, cease all work, at which point we'll advise our client to do absolutely nothing. Don't take any material on, don't take any material off, don't relocate any material. That, to me, is what a stop work order means. Stop work.
Yeah, I think I don't want to put Jack out of business with what's happening up front.
I've got a question, and it might go into this. There's clearly a public need. There's a reason that this place is super busy. If we had a stop work order the way it was just defined, what's gonna happen with all the material from all the construction sites that's going? What's the other options?
They'll have to go to another location that either is a permanent site or will obtain a special exception for compliance, just like we are here.
Are there other sites that are active that are in the area?
I can't answer that. I know there are other sites that are active dump sites or borrow sites that are permitted. I wasn't involved in that permitting, so I can't tell you if it's active and valid, but I can tell you that there are